We are Movie Menu Reviews. We always find a way. On today's menu, we'll be reviewing Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Rawr. Welcome, ladies and gents. I'm Dan the Man Muñoz, host of Movie Money Reviews, your weekly movie news and reviews podcast, live on Facebook on episode 192.
Yay, 192.
Yeah. Do we officially get canceled at 200?
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Okay.
I hope so.
Me too.
Well, someone who wants us to be canceled apparently is our special guest, Heather McLane.
Yay!
Thanks for having me back, you guys.
Yeah, you know
here,
what?
Which is not a Disney film, but it's good that you're here.
Yeah, and you might just be our newest Rigo. So you know what? Thanks for being on the show.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment, but Rigo's cool.
Not a compliment.
So I don't know.
It's definitely not a compliment.
Yeah, nope.
Sorry, Rigo.
Not one bit.
What's all the Rigo trash talk about?
Where in the world is he?
Yeah, where in the world?
Shout out to Rigo.
Yes.
Someone who doesn't know is our co-host and senior panelist, Z.
I know exactly where he's at. He's in the bathroom right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Please don't
Start with that.
Okay.
Oh man.
Also joining us today is my co-host Mike Stan.
Mike Stan!
And we have also special audience members, Dimitri and Michael.
Hey!
Thank you guys for being in the studio. And the dog. Yay!
And with the special guest appearance by Fireworks.
Is it like just 2 months of that over
Yeah,
here?
we're exactly what it is. Yeah, because
Yeah.
4th of July is coming up, guys.
It's not annoying at all.
Not at all.
So we have some movie news to get this talk first, and then we'll go into a review for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. First up, we're going to talk about the new Creed 2 trailer that just came out this week. It is not directed by Ryan Coogler.
No, okay.
But it is written by Sylvester Stallone. And Chowdhury Coker is directed by Stephen Caple Jr.
Okay.
So we see a continuation from part 1. So it follows...
he's not named
Michael B.
Creed.
Jordan.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan's character.
I can't even remember his name.
That one guy.
That guy,
So it
yeah.
continues his story.
The guy Creed.
The guy
Adonis Creed, played by Michael B. Jordan. So it's good they got him back. How do you guys feel about the trailer and not having Ryan Coogler back for the sequel?
Yeah, I'm interested to hear about this director. Hold on, I'm bringing up the whole thing. I do see that Rolf Lundgren is going to be in this movie, so that makes me very excited because then you can have two old men talking about boxing, and I think that would be really fun to watch.
Do you think there's going to be like a box out between the two of them?
Oh, that would be cool. Like it was like a street fight.
Yeah,
that would be really that'd be really cool. Yeah, so this movie looks like a revenge film, right? Like it feels like they're trying to set it up. They're trying to expand the universe that is the Rambo.
That is the Rambo series.
Yeah.
That would be great if he blends the two. I would.
If they met each other, who would win?
I would 100% watch that if
sure.
Rambo comes out.
Yeah.
In the boxing ring?
In the boxing, yeah. So it looks good. That's what I'm trying to say.
Which you executed perfectly.
Thank you.
So I didn't see the first Creed. What did you guys think of it?
It's great. I highly recommend you go watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very much. It was one of my favorite movies of that year, and I was really upset that I wasn't nominated for an Oscar, or even that Michael B. Jordan wasn't nominated, because Sylvester Stallone was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, which he did a great job.
Right.
But the whole movie is carried by Michael B. Jordan, and this is the second time he was overlooked for an Oscar because he deserved it for I can't even think of the name of the movie. The one that we saw together.
Fruitvale Station.
Fruitvale Station,
that's right, yeah.
He deserved an Oscar nomination for that role, and he didn't get it. And he didn't get it for Creed, which he carried the film. So
yeah, and I'm looking at the director for this new movie, Stephen Caple Jr. It looks like he does purely TV stuff. So
he did a couple of independent movies, but not many.
Yeah, that's where I'm hesitant to say that. I mean, You know, it's funny when we're talking about franchises have taken on the role of serialized television. So a lot of the times you bring in a heavy director to film the first episode of, like, say, for example, Lost, right? They got J.J. Abrams. He directed the first one. And then the rest of the films in the series took on, the next of the episodes in the series use the same style. So maybe that's what they're going for. And then we're talking about Jurassic World today, and clearly the same thing happened here where they dropped the initial director, right? J.J. Abrams also directed for the new Star Wars films, and they clearly followed suit with that directing style. So I'm just saying, like, I feel like...
Well, the funny thing with that comparison is that...
Yeah.
Well, and even though we're talking about the Creed trailer, but... Colin Trevorrow is supposed to come back for Jurassic World 3, which he did the first one.
Yeah, I heard about that.
But anyways, the Creed trailer, I loved the first Creed movie. I thought they did it really well. I think Ryan Coogler is an amazing director. He's producing this film, so that's a good sign. Hopefully, if he's but production, on-hand producer.
Yeah, he has to be an executive producer to actually have a lot of control over what's being filmed. So let's hope for the best. That's all I can say, really.
Yeah. What did you guys think about the reveal with Drago's son? Knowing the history with Rocky and Drago and Apollo,
I just thought it was like the natural place to go with the story. So it's just an issue of like where would you go in the second film, and you would go to the place where the heart is, right? And like I said before, this looks like a revenge film in that, like, he's trying to show his dad that he's capable of succeeding. But then the question and the question that I'm hoping that they explore in this film is going to be, if Adonis gets in the ring with him, is he going to try killing his opponent, right? Is he going to try avenging his father in that ring? Are we going to see something like that? And if so,
I would like to see the struggle.
That would be really cool. And Michael B. Jordan can do that.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, he can totally act. And if you haven't seen Creed 1, it's on Amazon Prime if you have that available. So
I would definitely recommend seeing Creed 1 for sure. If I'm not mistaken, they lost Ryan Coogler because of Black Panther, obviously. Yeah. So I don't think it was a choice. So they had to find a new director
for sure.
Rather than
he went with the money.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have held production for a little bit longer, but it's not like this movie needed to be made like right away. But
do you think they should have waited then? I mean, that sounds like it.
I would have
forcing you to say it.
I think they should have waited for it, but we'll see. Maybe they didn't have. Maybe this director, they saw a vision in him and they wanted to give him a chance.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm sure Ryan Coogler was the one that held or passed the baton to him, so I'm sure he saw something in this director. Okay. Which I hope that we see as well in November when we see it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So let's go and move on to the next movie news. Mike.
Yeah, so a few things. So first, MoviePass is actually going to start charging an extra fee for moviegoers for tentpole films during the weekend. So if
during opening weekends.
Yeah, during opening weekends. So, but I actually just read that if you're paying for the annual subscription, this won't apply to you.
Okay, so it's only for the monthlies.
Yeah, it's going to be only for the monthlies.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, the MoviePass is, if you don't know at this point, I feel like the whole world might know, but MoviePass is in America. So you pay, and I believe the UK even has a competitor too. So it's not like it's only like something that the US is doing right now. So it's a pay as you go plan, or you can pay also yearly, as Mike just stated, where you can go to certain cinemas like AMC, like Edwards, where else?
Some Lamleys, and like Cinepolis,
and you can access and Landmark. You can go watch the movie. A movie once per day. They have a secondary plan, which is 3 major films per month. You can go watch them. So it's just a convenient way of moviegoers who are avid moviegoers, like myself, Mike, Dan, and I know many others who have. You too, Heather? Yeah. So it's convenient for people who like going to the cinema, and it's like known as the Netflix for cinemas. So yeah.
Yeah, that's. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Thank you for explaining it. And also, so what's going on is AMC has been wanting to compete with MoviePass for a while now, so they're actually gonna finally make it available starting next week. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be, unlike the MoviePass subscription, which is $10 a month. I believe it's like $80 annually, if I'm not mistaken. I think it changes depending on where you buy it.
I was reading it was $20 a month.
That's what
actually.
I read.
Yeah. Well, for Movie Pass?
No, for the AMC.
Yeah. So Movie Passes is like
he's talking about the annual fee.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So Movie Pass is like $10 a month, or if I'm not mistaken, like $90 for the year. So as exactly as you said, the AMC is going to be $20 a month.
Technically $19.95. No, I'm kidding.
Yes, technically.
Something happens in the brain with that one less cent. It's like, oh, that's a lot cheaper.
But see, here's the thing, though, right? Like, the issue really comes down to: are we all willing to jump over to AMC, or willing to stay with Movie Pass? That's going to raise their prices up a little bit.
So that was before I was aware that the people who are subscribed for the annual subscription, that this doesn't apply to them. Like, I'll stay with Movie Pass.
You'll stay with Movie Pass.
But
did you get the annual? Is that why?
No, but I'll just
because I think it's like the people who are currently on the annual, but if you sign up for the new annual, it'll go with it. I think that's what it was meant for.
I mean, I'm willing to pay $12 a month. That's not an issue for me at all. It's just I think even at that, like the $20 price point for AMC is a little too high. I also don't like AMCs in general.
It actually wouldn't be just $12 a month. What it would be is it'll be like $10 a month plus every $2 every time you watch a tempo.
So they would charge you the extra $2.
Yeah, for every movie you watch during that tempo weekend. So it could easily come out to $18 to $20 a month anyway.
I see.
So the difference with the AMC is that they're also including 3D and IMAX as well.
And Dolby Cinema.
Yeah.
Which
that would be amazing.
If you go see an IMAX film 3 times a week, you basically pay for itself and more.
That is true.
Because an IMAX movie is $20. You see 3 IMAX movies a day. And the cool thing about the AMC is that they don't limit you one per day. You could watch all 3 movies in one day.
And you can also watch a movie that you've already seen. Unlike Movie Pass, where you're restricted just seeing it one time.
Mm-hmm. Now, also Movie Pass, if I'm not, you could also, they're going to start doing the 3D and IMAX as well later in the summer after the tempo movies are done. But they're also doing Bring a Friend with Movie Pass.
Oh, I did see that. Well, it's not bring a friend. It's purchase another ticket on the Movie Pass app, which they've been missing like for years now. I think this move is good. I think AMC jumping into the field is a good thing. Competition always breeds better things for consumers, and I feel like Movie Pass needs to step up its game.
Well, yeah, I mean, Movie Pass is hemorrhaging money right now.
They're
bringing in $15 million, but they're spending like $20 million.
Yeah, so they're losing.
It's not a sustainable business plan. I've been wondering since I've heard about it. Even I swear, like more than a year ago, you guys telling me about it. I was like, I don't understand how they're making any money, and apparently they aren't.
Yeah,
they have teamed up with studios as well. So if you've noticed, if you have Movie Pass, they're like promoting certain films on their apps, so you can watch it because they get a profit from that film.
Yeah,
but it's kind of weird with Movie Pass because we use Movie Pass to watch their film, so they're basically making their own money off their own app. So it's interesting.
Yeah. They just need to figure it out. That's all I gotta say.
Well, originally Movie Pass, before they brought it down to the $10 a month, it was $40. It was like
$50.
It was almost $50 a month, which was like, this is pricey, but I was still paying it. It was still worth it.
We were. Yeah,
we were watching. When you're watching like more than 8 movies a month, it's worth it.
Yeah, but the issue was during that time was that you couldn't cancel. So we were locked into months that like February, like January.
It was a year contract.
Yeah, it was a full year. So you couldn't get out of it. So the fact that they fixed it, that's great. But at the same time, like we need competitors. I don't personally want to go to an AMC card because again, I personally don't like AMC's.
I like AMC IMAX.
The Dolby Cinema is fantastic. I would say that's the only reason why I would jump over, but not every film is given in that format. And so without that, I would stick with like I currently go to like a movie grill, and movie grills are like fantastic. You got great sofas. You can enjoy yourself in those theaters really well. So I would stick to that only because it's still
also with AMC, which is great. I'm actually thinking about getting both. Am I crazy?
No, I was thinking the same thing, Dan. I was like 3D movies and then
independent films or whatever.
And
exactly.
I go to AMC all the time. My favorite theater is an AMC. It's a dine-in. I don't like the dine-in side because the waiters and food is distracting.
Right.
But I just really like that theater.
But one feature that I really like about the AMC one is that you could get a movie like weeks in advance. You don't have to pick it the same day.
Oh, can you?
So like a movie pass, you have to do it that
pre-sale.
day. So pre-sale. So you could like when it's like for Star Wars, if Star Wars like gets on sale, you can, if you have the AMC app or whatever, you could pre-order your ticket.
That would be
with
really
that,
cool.
and that would count as one of your movies for that week.
Got you.
So that's pretty neat.
I could see the benefit to that for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's ongoing war between Movie Pass and AMC, and we shall see who is the victor.
And maybe we'll get some more benefits, like you said, competition. Breeds, it helps the customer. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna be crazy like Dan and get both.
Yeah,
and so let's go ahead and move on to the movie review. The movie we're going to review is Jurassic World. Stay tuned. Movie menu. So the movie we're reviewing is Jurassic World. It is directed by Jay Bayona, written by Derek Connolly and Colin Trevorrow. Here's the plot. When the island's dormant volcano begins roaring to life, Owen and Claire mount a campaign to rescue the remaining dinosaurs from this extinction-level event. It stars Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Ralph Spar, and Isabella Sermon. All right, guys, so we've all seen this film. So depending on your spoiler-free review, we shall decide, or I shall decide, if this movie is worth it dining and watching in theaters, take out and watch it at home, or leftovers get eaten by T-Rex instead of watching this film.
What's the new raptor called?
Indoraptor.
Or get eaten by an Indoraptor. I would rather get eaten by an Indoraptor at this point.
Which is funny because they kind of showed in the trailer, but this is the type of raptor where you could actually high five it and like it could get something from the tall. Unlike the T-Rex, which is like
yeah. Anytime we see the T-Rex now, I just kind of feel like you can't high five it. You can't do anything with that guy. Yeah, tiny T-Rex arms. I just think of Deadpool every time I see him.
So whoever wins will earn points. Whoever has the most points by the end of the season will make a segment of their choosing for the end of next season. Heather, as a guest, you have the option of, if you earn a point, keeping the point, or trading it for 10 points so you can get a movie segment of your own choice, or we've offered this new plan where you could trade it in for like torta, horchata, boba, basically any like delicious food from the neighborhood.
Yes.
That we are not sponsored by, but maybe someday.
Maybe someday. Oh, imagine if we had like tortas, we would eat them on the show, and they would be like, "What are you eating, Mike, over there?" I'm like, "Well, I'm eating a tasty torta from Kaching." That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So you have the option. Oh, you can also give your point away to one of us, which we actually kind of ask you to not do.
Please do not do that.
Then I would have to like pick sides and.
Well, no, because
it used to be that we used to compete like that.
We wanted to win. Like genuinely, we wanted to.
Well, it was like a pride.
And now we've got to the point, like we've done 14 seasons of the show, that we're like, winning is like a chore now.
It is a chore.
But we still love it.
Do we?
It's like, are you sure?
If you give me your point, I'll give you an horchata.
Just 1 point.
That is way too much money for. Like,
I'll take that. Here.
Yeah, you can have my points, dude. Come on.
Is that on the guess?
Looks like I'm gonna win 2 seasons in a row.
You just cash win in every episode.
I could have sworn you were already winning this season.
I know.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
All right. On that note,
yes,
Heather, or all of us, rate this film. Heather, as our guest, you may go first.
I'm gonna go with a dine-in.
Z?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with a very, very, very soft dine-in.
Mike?
Yeah, I was torn watching this film. I think I'm going to go dine-in as well.
Oh, wow.
Because you were torn because it's also a takeout, right?
It's the movie's totally a takeout.
It's totally a takeout.
It's totally a takeout, but because there's giant dinosaurs.
We'll talk about that, yeah.
And like when they roar, like your seat shakes, it's a dine-in.
Yeah,
you know?
that's probably the only reason why.
For me. Yeah. Like there's so many other things in this that make
this movie is absolute garbage.
There's so many things in it that are leftovers to me but anyways, we'll go into it.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it is a takeout. I don't feel like there was enough. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think there was enough dinosaurs to warrant it to be watching theaters.
Okay,
yeah. At least compared to the first Jurassic World.
No. I feel the opposite. Like I liked this one way more than the first.
I'm gonna side with Mike on this one. Yeah,
I agree. I'm talking about the amount of dinosaurs in this film. Is what I'm talking about. The amount of dinosaurs in this film does not compare to the first Jurassic World. There was a ton of dinosaurs, which warranted to be at least watching.
True.
This one, there's like a lot of human story element to it. But is very slow paced and. I feel like this would be fun to watch at home.
You know
what? With watching Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom together, at home.
It's weird because I'm going to argue with you on this. I think you should watch it in theaters because J.A. Bayona, the director of this movie,
who is one of my favorite directors, but this franchise swallows his style.
Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. This movie has a lot of flaws. Like, there's a lot of plot points that I was like, you could drive a T-Rex through the plot, the plot holes in this movie. There's just so much in this movie that just doesn't make any sense. And the human element, in fact, the problem for me was that the human element wasn't more relevant. There was no more, there wasn't more human discussion about what's happening. And so the fact that I think Bayona was able to direct and he was able to deliver on his horror roots, this movie really felt horror driven.
I think that's probably why I enjoyed this more than I expected.
It's the only reason. It's the only reason
because this film seemed like two different movies.
Oh, it was big time.
It was the first half was like a rescue mission, and the second half was like
a horror film,
like a horror film.
Yeah,
which for me, I would have enjoyed to see more of the horror film.
Yeah, same here.
Because I feel like in the first one they missed the opportunity where they could have had the animal rights. Instead of the military aspect in the first film, I feel like if they had the animal rights and that causes the chaos within the Jurassic World, first movie would have been more, I think, more fun.
Yeah.
And then this one just be like almost like a horror film with the dinosaurs, and that would have been cool because we don't see that with the dinosaurs.
But see, the problem though is, all right, so there's a couple of things. There's a lot of things to unpack here because there's first of all, the film is a 4-arc film, which immediately I'm like, really? You would go with 4 arcs? But there's a prologue, then there's the actual movie, right? The animal rights stuff, that's all the first act that just happens to also be a prologue. Then you have the first act where you actually get these two, the Owen and Claire together again. And then there's also an introduction to a little girl, Ellie, which makes
Macy.
Macy. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I mean, I literally was able to just simply go like, "That's who that is. That's who that is." And so with that being said, the horror element, I think, right? If we look at horror as a genre, there's always a message involved. In this film, it was all jump scares and not the message that horror usually brings.
I didn't see any really jump scares, to be honest.
Oh, there were plenty of them. They were not Mike.
I know. Mike would be the one because Mike's scared of the jump scares. Yeah. But I didn't notice much of jump scares. I noticed there was like tension, but
there was I felt like there was a lot of jump scares in this film. They were intentionally played that way.
I think there were a few, especially towards the end.
Yeah, for sure.
My biggest gripe with the movie is that they they try to slip in this backstory of the first Jurassic Park that was not introduced at all.
Oh yeah, you're talking. All right, so should we talk plot because we haven't even gotten into plot?
Yeah, which I was like, that cheapens the first original Jurassic Park because I don't want to give it away so much, but I didn't like that they just shoehorned this story.
Oh no, you should talk about it. So the way the movie is introduced, right, is that as you've seen in the trailers.
Well, in Jurassic Park, the person who created the Jurassic Park is John Hammond.
Yes,
and apparently he didn't create Jurassic Park.
He wasn't the only one who created Jurassic Park.
It was this other person who helped
with him. Yeah, so Benjamin Lockwood and him, they worked together,
and which confused me for half of the film because I was like, wait a minute, did I miss something?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, did they?
So that part took me out of the movie because I had to remember like the past films of all that I've seen. I'm like, Lockwood, was there a Lockwood in the film?
Yeah, I was thinking I was like, did they?
But we get it.
Somebody? What happened?
The original John Hammond, he passed away.
Yes.
So they couldn't use him in this film.
Right.
So they had to adapt it to someone else. But I don't know. It just, for me, it took me out of the film really for a while because it made me think about the past films.
Yeah. Plus, on top of that, you got introduced to Rafe Spall's character, who whenever I see Rafe Spall, I just kind of like there's like a part of my brain that like the part of the brain when you see somebody and you just think I want to punch this person's face. Like whenever I see Mike, no, I'm just
he was just and
no, I'm used to it. It's okay.
But like whenever you see Rafe Spall, you're like, I want to punch this guy in the face, and so immediately I'm just like, I'm not going to trust this character, and it's just an automatic response.
Well, it's just like a mustache twirling, like
exactly.
It was
just was evident.
It was just greed, and it was kind of dumb.
Exactly.
But what did you think, Heather? Because we're talking like over you.
So I understand your guys' point about I agree being shoehorned in there, and it feels kind of forced. And I too was like, do I not remember the other Jurassic Park films? Okay. But I let it go and I went with it because I forget stuff anyway. So I was like, it's probably me. Now I know it wasn't.
No, not one bit.
And some of the, there's like you said, when you get into the horror section, there's some like mystery where you're like overhearing things, like the character that we're with is overhearing conversations, and that some of that was a little forced. However, I enjoyed the pacing. I enjoyed the switch from rescue mission to horror because it changed it up. I really did get that like suspense film feel. Like I was anxious. I was with them. I was.
But no time did you guys think like, oh, this is gonna happen?
Oh, the entire movie. I had guessed the ending of the movie.
This person's gonna come right here, and
that's like there's a whole lot of like it's someone being saved by someone else or something else like all the time. It's like 20 times of that. Like oh no, they're trapped. It's like, guess what comes up? T-Rex, right? Guess it is basically guess
his tiny arms, and you're like,
it's like guess what saves them? You know?
And I feel like it's the Jurassic Park formula, and like let's see how many times we can use it.
Okay.
I still had a really good time watching this movie, and that's always my my criteria. If I had fun watching it, then I would say take out or dine in. And as you said, you got to see it in theaters, so go watch it.
I didn't say that.
Well, but as you said,
but what I would say is like
dinosaurs.
Yeah, no. I mean, listen, the spectacle is there, and this movie is all spectacle, no context. Like there's no meat in this at all. Like there's none of that, and that's I think the problem. And you mentioned like the Jurassic Park formula. What is the Jurassic Park formula? Because I feel like Jurassic Park was a standalone, fantastic film that had the discussion of chaos theory to life, and so there was that really great central performance between Ian Malcolm's character and the rest of the crew, and you're like, oh yeah, he's right. Then the atrocity of Jurassic Park 2 is that it completely changed everything, and I think that really Jurassic World is a carbon copy not of Jurassic World but of Jurassic
the Lost World.
And it just constantly.
I kind of agree with
and
that.
And I am so sad, and I'm so like disappointed because like I was thinking to myself, why is there a child in this movie? And I'm like, it's not because there's a child because of Jurassic Park. It's because Jurassic Park 2 had a kid in it that in her plot really made no sense. And even at that, like I rewatched Jurassic World again, and I was like, why are there children in this movie? It makes no sense to me why they would introduce a divorce character, the kids' characters, and all this bullshit. And it's like they introduced these new characters and a little girl in this movie, to which I was like, I don't care. I mean, honestly, at this point, I would be happy if you got killed by the dinosaurs, like in Jurassic Park 2.
Well, also because they want you to care about the little girl, which a part of you does, but it's such a forced thing that you don't spend enough time to really care. And then there was a character in the movie that I really wanted to see get killed. And it's the annoying genius computer guy. I'm like, just kill him already.
Just kill him.
Can we see a dinosaur eat him or something? That would just be fun.
But see, even
spoilers?
Yeah, but even then, my problem with this movie is even then, where you should have some satisfaction, right? Jurassic Park, I can spoil Jurassic Park, right?
No spoilers.
Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah.
All right, Jurassic Park. They introduced this character, this lawyer character, to which we were all like, "Fucking kill him! Kill him! Kill him! Kill him!" And then you see him run to the restrooms, right? And then the T-Rex removes the thing, and then he eats them, and you have this satisfaction, this moment of satisfaction that the person you wanted eaten got eaten, and he got eaten by the T-Rex. In this movie, I didn't honestly feel satisfaction at any of the deaths of like the antagonists.
No,
like never once did I feel like
they're all red shirts.
Yeah, it was really bad. Like I actually want like is it hard to write into these stories some like actual moral dilemmas?
Also, like in the first
wait, I have to wait. Hold on, I'm sorry. I have to disagree with the moral dilemma because the in this film the moral dilemma is evident. I don't want to say what.
I know it's hard.
But that the moment that there was a decision to be made, like that boils down from what they set up at the beginning to what is.
But it was never explored. They never explored. They just talk about it in the beginning. They forget about it in the middle, where the pacing dies out, where they should have focused on that argument. But instead, they jump over to the sex appeal part because she's got a hand on his shirt, and they don't even talk about that. And so, yeah, there is a moral dilemma, but they never talk about it. And more importantly, that decision that's made at the very end was really stupid. and it was just, I honestly was like, that's
it was also kind of like a convenient thing.
It's
as
so
well.
convenient, and
it's definitely a setup for sure.
Yeah,
but also though in Jurassic Park, and I know we're keeping comparing it, but it's the same franchise. When we saw that guy who knows the raptors, and he goes into that pen with Ellie, and he's like seeing the raptors, and he's like at a girl, and the raptor attacks him.
Yes,
that was like, oh my god, that was a surprise. Like this is a guy you thought you would follow. He knows his shit.
Yeah.
I wanted something like that too. I wanted to feel lost in this film because it's the second one.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we didn't get that, and I kind of feel like Jeff Goldberg was kind of a waste.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum.
Well, Goldblum.
But to be fair, Goldblum was always mentioned as like a cameo.
As a cameo, I know.
Yeah, so I never expected him at one point to be like in the movie a whole lot. My issue, like ultimately, is that moral dilemma question, because I remember watching an interview with Chris Pratt, and he was talking about how at this point in the movie, right, this is 4 years later, Owen's character in the first movie was all about like the rights of the animals, but in this movie he's about like let them die, whereas Claire is the opposite. And I honestly felt like this movie was a letdown on that perspective. Like I really wanted more context over that. Like animal rights. Let's talk about animal rights. But instead, what do we get? We got corporate assholes again. Like we got the discussion of like the red shirts of like what happens when you create a weapon and so this weapon can be taken advantage of. And I was like,
I think this
is not interesting.
That's a great setup for a horror film. And if they wanted a horror film, I feel like the third act should have been the second act.
Yeah.
And then I feel like without spoiling
the great thing is that the opening scene or the prologue, as it kind of was like a horror film. Like it's like it was kind of tension and scary, and you see glimpses of things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if they would have just kept that as a through line,
absolutely,
I feel like that would have been more successful.
And there was some interesting things described in the other Jurassic World that I think they could have explored more. I can't go too much into detail without it being spoiler, but but I think what sold this film for me was the Indoraptor, and it was just fun every time it was on screen.
That's true,
and that's why I was in the theater. That's why I wanted to see the movie, was to see it run around eating people, and it does. It does
its job.
And it's
you guys seem to have a lot of nostalgia for the first film. So
wait, which first film?
The Jurassic, like original Jurassic Park.
Yes.
So I was actually pulling at my heartstrings at the end of the first act when they're leaving the island. Like that got to me, just all those feelings about how you felt about seeing dinosaurs for the first time, and dinosaurs are real. And I mean, did that not get to you?
No.
Really?
There's something that bugged me too. Like I feel like they personified the dinosaurs too much. They seemed very human, even in some of the decisions that the dinosaurs would make. It just doesn't make any sense. Like why, if you're if you're an animal running away from a volcano, why would you stop and attack another animal?
That's the part that
I thought that was kind of weird.
It's like about to eat something. Why are you gonna stop running away to be like, don't eat that, and then you keep running?
I was thinking that too. Like I liked that everyone's running. You see in the trailers, everyone's running down the hill. Yeah. I like that nobody in the trailer, nobody's trying to eat anybody because we're all busy trying not to die.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was some weirdness. I was like, really?
Yeah. And then not only that, like Chris Pratt's character, and if a dinosaur is about to eat you, and then you get saved by another dinosaur, why are you going to stand there and watch them fight? You're going to run.
Well, because he had to give the nod of approval of
There's no which is
did.
what he's doing.
It's what he's doing. He's doing the entire time. It feels. You know what this movie felt like. And again, I think it's a dine-in because it's worth the spectacle, it's worth the money. Yeah. But this movie felt like a video game that I wasn't playing. Yeah, and that's what made me more frustrated.
I think you're right.
Because there are moments where they're balancing. There's moments where they're crawling on the walls. There's moments where they're sneaking past the dinosaur. And I'm like, it'd be really fun to play that. Why am I not playing that?
yeah, I think you're right.
You know, and it just felt too right. Why is he posing in front of the camera? Like in fact, I would even say watch what's the movie Jumanji 2, because at least then when they're doing that posing, The Rock's doing it intentionally to make you laugh. And this one I was like, huh? Why are you doing that? Stop that. Stop giving the nod to the dinosaur. The dinosaur doesn't understand you. Yeah. The dinosaur doesn't speak human.
Yeah.
And you didn't like the exploration of the relationship between him and Blue?
Okay, that part I did love. Oh, no, I absolutely love that. I came home and I wanted to hug my dog. Because I was
you wanted to hug your raptor?
Yeah, I was like, this is my Blue. You know?
But that's because we got a history with Blue in the first film.
That's true, yeah.
I liked this film better than the last one.
Yeah. Me too.
But
me too.
As Michael pointed out, our audience member, because we were talking about it.
Hey, Michael.
Hi, Michael. He said, because I said I like this film better than the first one. He's like, but the first one's necessary for the second one. It's not like it could stand alone, because we did get to explore more things, like things that we learned in the first one.
Yeah,
Owen and
but
Claire.
but the other part too is that, so again, I came home.
Did you notice though? It's like a silly thing because people were bitching about Jurassic World and Claire wearing heels. They show her wearing boots.
Oh yeah, that was
they go out of their way to go show her wearing boots so people could stop bitching and complaining.
Which, by the way,
I think it's silly that they had to cater to people.
Bryce Dallas Howard went on record to say that it was her choice to wear those heels.
And it's not like they were stiletto heels or anything. They were like little heels.
Yeah.
Who cares?
And apparently, like, she wore it like she was like, no, I'm gonna keep the shoes. But yeah, they take a hard moment to focus on her boots. Like, look, she's wearing boots now. I just thought it was just ridiculous to like pander. What was I saying about? See, Dan, you just interrupted me.
I'm going to interrupt you again. So pandering the draw of Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
The first time that they introduce him and he like turns around, I was like, yeah. But that was what that was for, and I'm okay with that kind of pandering. Honestly,
you know,
they know he's sexy. They know that's why some women go to see it, I guess. But they know. Oh
no, they know. The same way that in like all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, Chris Pratt has to be shirtless. They know. They know what they have there. But you know what I enjoyed the most about the beginning, right? This is again the prologue, the first act of the movie, was the relationship between Claire and Owen. Like, I thought that flirtatiousness was really cool. And again, I also wanted to know, why did they break up? I mean, there was no. I know they give a stupid reason of something, but to do with the van or whatever. But like, honestly, like, it would have been better if I could have rewritten this movie. I would have written it about that moral dilemma of the animal rights, that they couldn't really like talk about it, because that was the point in which the relationship broke up. So if they could have explored that more, right, in that flirtatious way, the flirtatious way that they showed you in the beginning on the boat, I would have been more invested in that dialogue of like, should we rescue them or should we just let them die? That would have been way cooler.
Actually, and that would have been more interesting.
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, why does this movie not work? And it's that boat they're on the boat, because
it would make sense for him. If he was like against like letting them die and she was for them, and then like he goes to her side and they go to the island, it would make sense for the end as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to give away the end,
exactly.
but the choice of the end as well.
Exactly.
So.
No, and I agree. And I think that's the most biggest flaw of this film, is that they had a really good horror element. They could have wrapped it around that moral dilemma question that all good horror films should have, but instead they relied too heavily on the audience to put these things together and figure them out. And because we had to figure it out, I honestly stopped caring about these characters. I was like, they're impervious. They're not going to die. Oh, she got something into her leg. Oh, she'll walk it off. She's walked in stilettos. She can walk that off. So that's what I mean. It was just lazy, but it was still entertaining.
Well, you know what?
And the graphics were gorgeous.
Oh, they were great.
Those dinosaurs look amazing.
Well, should we do a spoiler review?
I mean, I'm up for it.
I think we should, because there's more to talk about.
All right, let's.
There is one more. For sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so right now, let's go ahead and give it a rating for Dine In. Watching the theater, since it's 3 against 1.
Yes.
So you guys get the point.
But Dine In to get out of the heat. Dine In to not have like a serious discussion after this movie. It's a stupid popcorn film. And something I told Mike that I forgot to mention on this review is that I honestly was also coming out of the theater thinking, like, what makes this movie different from a Transformers film? Nothing except for better graphics.
It's funny because like no, I guess not. Because I was like, the humans are the less interesting thing as the Transformers. But in this movie, I mean, there's some humans that are interesting.
They're kind of, but that's about it. Yeah, they're disposable.
You really want to see dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so thank you so much, Heather, for being on the show. Anything you'd like to promote on our live feed at the moment before we head over to our spoilers review?
Actually, there is something I'd like to promote, but I'd like you to promote it.
Yeah,
since
Dan.
You're driving the ship on this.
No,
project coming
you
up.
promote it.
No,
Let's both promote
no.
it.
Because otherwise, it feels like
Let's
like
both
pandering.
promote it.
So if Dan has to pander it feels like it's like.
You are the lead in it. So.
I know, that's why I don't want to talk about it. No, I'm just kidding.
So the train horn wants to talk about it for us.
So coming up is actually Eastside Theater Works' 5th annual Shakespeare in the Park.
Damn.
I'm so excited. I cannot believe we've been around for 5 years already because time has just flown by. It's coming up. We open August 17th at the East LA Civic Center.
Amphitheater?
Yeah. The amphitheater, which we call the duck pond lovingly because we have a lot of ducks that are sometimes endearing and sometimes awful. We're doing Taming of the Shrew by William Shakespeare. I am playing the shrew, so that's going to be fun and exciting.
And I am directing it, and I adopted the script.
Yes, and we're doing a bilingual translation.
So it's in English and Spanish.
And you want to tell us a quick blurb about the setting?
Sure. It's going to take place in East LA. Which is why it's bilingual, but it's set in it's set in 1949, where the East LA community was predominantly Jewish community, but it's when a lot of the Latino community started to come in as well in that time era, in that decade. So it's a rich history of East LA, so we recommend you come out. It's free to the audience. All our shows are free, so come out and watch it.
And for more information, check us out at etwla.com.
Good job.
Shut up. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Z. We're going to head over to the spoiler review. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for that. Goodbye.
1, 2, 3, 4.